everybody, it's Larry and welcome to today's video. And we are happy to announce, excited to announce that Ancestry has fixed the DNA match list. Yes, we reported it back in November and it was December and January and February. It still wasn't working, but it is now working. And not only is it working, it's working differently. And I think you might say that it's better. I like it. What they're doing is they're now keeping track of 2 different states independently, but that gives you some advantages now in your DNA match research. So let's go and see what I'm talking about and show you that the error is no longer there and what that means and how you can use their changes to your advantage. All right, so here we are at the DNA match list. And just so that we're going to go apples to apples, we're going to go with my cousin Alexandra, and we're going to go to her DNA match list, and we're going to scroll to the bottom, okay, like we did before, and we're going to go all the way back up the top, click back, and now this is where we would have the error condition once we scroll down. So we're going to scroll down, make the auto scroll happen, and notice right here, it says 137, 136, 134, 132, 128, 126. It's working normally. All right, so let's pull it down again. Make sure that that's not an error. 59, 56. Yeah, mine go down really fast like y'all's. All right, I scroll up. My mother is not on there twice. My daughter's not on there twice. And then when I get back to that 138 mark, okay, we're going to notice that 138. Notice it doesn't restart and insert the top of my list again, starting at 1600. Okay. So we're just going to scroll down real quick. So I don't want you to necessarily worry about this. We're going to pretend like we're going way down here. Let's go down into the 20s somewhere. So we're just page down, holding the page down button, letting the auto scroll happen. And you notice that as you work through your list, every time you work further down, it's kind of painful because you got to wait on this auto scroll, right? I want to get down in my 20s. There we go. We got some 20s right there, 29. All right. Then, as we know, when you go to somebody else's page and you're working on their page and you scroll down, okay, when you go back, you got to start all over again, right? Well, that's part of the change. So let's scroll all the way down here because it's a match. It won't take nearly as long to get to the bottom. All right, here we are, 21, 20. There we go. We're at 20. Now we're at the bottom of the match list for this person, all right? So now when I click back, watch the first change. This is really, really cool. Here we go. Notice right here on the right, see my mouse cursor up at the top right? See how small that scroll is? That's because all of those auto scrolls I did before have been saved. Look at this. I'm pulling down 40s, 30s, 20s. There's no auto scroll happening here. Look at this. 30s, 29. We got all the way down to the 20s. There was no auto scroll. So what happens when we go back to AM? So let's go back to the top, click on AM. Go to the shared matches. There's not going to be an auto scroll here. Look how tiny that is. Look at this. All the way down to the bottom of that list without an auto scroll. Okay? So basically they've kept the full page size rather than continuing to try and track, where on the page it is and passing that variable on. So you get the full page size. That being said, now your main page, when you go back, is still going to keep its condition because it's your main page, right? Because it's considered, here's your main page, and then here's your match and your match page. Okay, it's keeping track of the 2 different states. So again, I'm back to my main match. I can come all the way down here into the 20s with no auto scrolling. See how fast that was compared to the first time? But if I go to somebody else's and I scroll now to the bottom of this match list page, all right, which isn't going to be nearly as long, but we're going to scroll. I don't have to scroll the bottom. I just have to scroll enough to get the auto scroll where it starts keeping the matches page. So we'll stop right in there. All right, let's go back up. Now we're going to go back to AM, and you'll notice that that page I have to auto scroll again. And so that's going to be, it would be nice if they tracked them all like that. Everybody that you're working on, because you're working on, see how fat that scroll bar is now? And that's because we're going to have to auto scroll again. All right. So it keeps track of the last one that you're working in. See, the auto scrolls are taking place. All right. It keeps track of the last one you're working in. Let's go all the way back down to the bottom of AM again, just to show you that. One last time. Okay, so there we go. We're at the bottom of AM. Now, what happens when you click the back button? Well, there is an error condition that does occur with the back button. So stay within Ancestry's, system right here. Click back. Don't use the browser back. If you use the browser back, the main page, it's going to auto refresh. You may or may not keep your auto scroll down. So if you want to keep that auto scroll down and not have to wait that time to go through that again, then I recommend that you don't use the browser back button. All right. And there is another error condition that does create under the right conditions. Now, I'm not going to mention this video because it's not terribly significant, because it doesn't cause what I would call an error in your data. It just makes you have to go to your DNA match page again. You end up on your home page, okay? But so you end up on your home page and you go back in. That's a mild frustration, but it's not what I would call a serious bug insofar as your data is all messed up and can cause you to mess up in your errors. It can say, hey, I got to go back to that page again. And now you would have to re-scroll down. You don't get the advantage of passing all these auto scroll downs that you got to pass before because you've been to that page. But again, it keeps the last person that you're on. It'll keep the main list and the last person you're on, and it'll keep the auto scroll down and keep your positions on the page. It'll track those. That's how they fixed it. It's actually, I think, better. I like it better, especially coming back to the main page, going back without having to go through that time for the auto scroll down and wait for that call back, to fill the page. I like that. So I like this change. What do you think about the change? Let us know down in the comments below. And if any of y'all are just really, really into, testing and analysis like I am, let's see if any of y'all can figure out the error condition. The hints that I've given you is when it happens, and I can tell you, you're on a sub-profile page, i.e. a DNA matches, you're on their shared match, and you're on their page, and you click the back button, you'll end up at the Ancestry homepage with one click. It's not a mistake because I've repeated it. And you'll end up at the homepage. And when you go back to your page, it won't have kept the session state as far as the scroll down. It's as if you had come in there the first time, which, is okay. But can any of you find that? Some of you like to poke around and see things. There is one there. Can you find it? Can anybody find it? I don't know. Anyway, so there you have it. Ancestry has updated and fixed the DNA match list, and I think they made an improvement as part of that fix. I know that we would have all been happy just going back and everything being normal, but I like that it keeps the session state information for the position of my scroll down on both my match page, especially on my match page. That's where it really caught my eye. I didn't notice it on the main page, believe it or not. I noticed it when I went back into somebody. I'm like, oh, I didn't want to click back. Now I got to do that auto scroll all over again. I'm like, oh, I don't. That was pretty cool. All right, so there you have it. Let me know what you think down in the message below of the new fix. Only 3 months, and like I said, I'm gonna give them a little leeway here. I told you in the first video it's never taken them more than 2 to fix something we mentioned here. This one did take 3, but they got root stick here in a couple of weeks, so we'll give a little forgiveness there. Thank you, Ancestry. It works again great. Awesome as always. Take care. We'll talk to you later.